Well, guys, man, a lot of things been crazy when it's coming to things like talking about Shedeur Sanders. We've seen a lot of people say a lot of things about Shedeur Sanders. A lot of negativity, basically coming off of that UCSS couch. And there's been plenty of times that G. Bush has checked some of the guys on UCSS for the slander and all the nonsense and the negativity they talk about Shedeur Sanders, the likes of Jason Lloyd, Jay Crawford, Bull. Then you got some guests that appear on there, and G. Bush will let them have it. And things on UCSS are just a little different when it comes to Shedeur Sanders. It seems like Shedeur Sanders is their meat and potato of their podcast, of their show. And they've been talking about Shedeur Sanders well after the football season is over. Every time a quarterback situation comes up, they always bring up Shedeur Sanders' name. It's anybody but Shedeur Sanders. The Cleveland media wants anybody but Shedeur Sanders, Cleveland media, and the Cleveland Insiders. You are now tuned into a brand new episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K. Sapp. And today, man, we got to talk about it, man. We got to talk about Jay Crawford, man. Jay Crawford is singing a different tune. And Jay Crawford basically has told on himself and told on the production crew of the UCSS. And we're going to talk about it right after this.
Let me put you on game. These other podcasts out here talking that shit, but ain't repping the same. It's my bro K-Sapp, chopping up topics for your optics. From politics to your top picks. Tune in, you gotta watch this. Exclusive material for your radio, stereo, pumping high definition. Stop what you doing and listen. We smashing all competition. You better jump on this wave. Somebody pass me a mic, man, I got something to say.
Well, guys, you know I got something to say, man, because I told you I keep receipts, man. I find it all over the internet, man. And these guys basically, man, they put their own foot in their mouth. You know, we've talked about Jay Crawford on how he's hating on Shedeur Sanders. Everything he says about Shedeur Sanders is negative. Talking about the Cleveland Browns should go out there and get a quarterback in the draft. If they can't get one in the draft, they should bring one in via free agency to put above Shedeur Sanders and relegate Shedeur Sanders to like a backup quarterback and make him go through the rigmaroles once again. We saw what Kevin Stefanski did to Shedeur Sanders. Everything that Kevin Stefanski did last year was a lie. Shedeur Sanders was never getting first team reps. He was always behind the eight ball. And we've seen all the negativity when it comes to things around Shedeur Sanders and some of these Cleveland insiders and Cleveland media personnel, what they say about Shedeur Sanders. But today, I find it kind of, ironic and kind of fishy. Now that Kevin Stefanski is not the head coach and now you got Todd Monken in there, now Jay Crawford basically just told on himself. Jay Crawford basically just let everybody know what a lot of people have always been saying. The reason why they talk about Shedeur Sanders so much is because they know that's clicks and he's a lightning rod. And basically there's a hidden agenda behind every time they talk negative about Shedeur Sanders. Do they really believe what they say about Shedeur Sanders? I don't think they really believe what they say about Shedeur Sanders when they're hating on him and all the negativity. I find that far-fetched, man. And the reason why I find that far-fetched, because I got video evidence and audio proof coming out of Jay Crawford's mouth on why they talk negative about Shedeur Sanders. So let's take a listen to what Jay Crawford and then was talking about on UCSS, because this was all predicated around Francisco Mendoza declining to throw on his pro day. And he's not getting the grief that Shedeur Sanders was getting when he neglected to throw on his pro day. And also the number one pick in the draft, Cam Ward, in 2025. He didn't throw on his pro day. But when it came to Shedeur, everybody made a big deal about it. And Jay Crawford is going to tell you why. So guys, take a listen to how Jay Crawford just spilled the beans on the UCSS production on why they talk negative about Shedeur Sanders. And I really don't believe these guys really believe what they be saying. They just be saying it for the clicks and views because Shedeur Sanders is must-see TV, and you have to talk about Shedeur Sanders to get ratings for your show. Take a listen to what Jay Crawford had to say.
About Shedeur, which is unfair to Shedeur.
Yeah.
Shedeur is a victim of his last name. A lot of people want to say, oh, he's a product of his last name. No, I don't believe that. Because in the NFL, I don't care what your last name is. NFL is all, look, you get what you earn.
Yeah.
It is a meritocracy. He may have gotten a chance here or there or turned heads here or there because of his last name. But I think his last name has worked against him since he went to Colorado. And here's why.
I disagree with that.
Everybody wants to say, oh, he's just there because he's Deion's kid. Well, that has hindered him in the NFL process. Why did we talk about him a million times during the lead up to the NFL draft?
He's the most popular
because
athlete
he's a lightning rod.
Yes.
We're in the business of clicks. We want people to watch us. We're not
telling
here
on itself.
so no one watches. We're here because we want to maximize our audience. We found out very early on, how do you maximize your audience? Well, you talk about things that your audience wants to listen to.
Yeah.
What was that? And it didn't take us long to figure it out. It's not rocket science. Shedeur. That's why we break down how he walks. Is he pigeon-toed? or every little thing gets a check on it. And I feel badly for Shedeur for that.
And to your point, and Ant, real quick, Cam Ward was in the conversation too, right? Cam Ward didn't throw at the combine last year.
And how many people were dinging Cam Ward last year for not throwing? Nobody. You know why? Because his last name wasn't Sanders.
You know the crazy part about it is Mendoza will find out just like Shedeur do. Yeah, it's cool. We don't care how you got here. Because after a while, in 2 years, nobody cared where you drafted at.
Nope.
It's about what did you do on 3rd and 7. It's about what did you do when you was down 4 or 5 points and you needed a touchdown. What did you do when you had to come back down from 14 and throw it 60 times? Those are the things that you will eventually keep you on the field or get you up off the field.
Particularly at quarterback, G. At quarterback, it is, I always call it the most difficult position in sports to play, the most impactful position in sports to play, and also the most difficult position in sports to scout. If you don't believe me, go take a look at the first round quarterbacks that have been complete busts. Did anybody think Jamarcus Russell was going to be a bust? No. No one thought he would be a bust. Everyone thought he was a can't miss. The big question of my lifetime regarding an NFL draft was whether or not Peyton Manning who really had an unbelievable college career and had the name. His dad was an NFL quarterback, but everybody wanted to know, was it going to be Peyton Manning or Ryan Leaf?
Yep.
One of them became one of the greatest passers of the football of all time, and one of them infamously washed out of the game in train wreck fashion for all of us to see. So if you don't realize how difficult that position is to scout, understand that about 50% of the NFL scouts at the last poll before the draft, we're going to take Ryan Leaf, number one.
Mm-hmm.
About half. And
now you heard what they had to say, man. Now, like I told you guys, and a lot of people has been saying this, do you really believe they believe what they say about Shedeur Sanders, man, and all the negativity that they put out there in the stratosphere? No, I don't. Because Jay Crawford just explained the reason why we talk about Shedeur Sanders is because we need ratings for this show. We're going to talk about the way he ties his shoe. We're going to talk about the way he walks. And the thing that I disagree with Jay Crawford on about his name hindered him in college, no, it didn't. Shedeur Sanders was heavily recruited coming out of high school. Pac-10, Pac-12, you name it. Major D1 schools. So that his name didn't hinder him in college. It might have hindered him in the NFL process, in the draft process, like a lot of people said, because it was collusion against Deion Sanders, his father. Now, Jay Crawford just let y'all in on it. So basically, Jay Crawford said there was a hidden agenda on saying all this stuff about Shedeur Sanders to get people in an uproar, to get the people that support Shedeur Sanders talking about it, to keep their shows relevant. And see, it's unfortunate because they will say stuff, and we have podcasters out there such as myself. When we see stuff like that, we gotta say something about it, man. We gotta kill the narratives that they out there spewing. And that's the reason why when we listen to it and people send us information on it, that's the reason why we talk about it. Because if don't nobody talk about it and clear up all the hate that they have for Shedeur Sanders, all that hate that they spewing over there, people are going to believe that if nobody is standing up against it to rebuke it and refute it and get it out the way. That's why I say, man, you come at 12 from the Cleveland Browns, we going to get you. Now we know that there was a hidden agenda that y'all had against 12. But ever since Todd Monken has became the head coach, them agendas have slowly deteriorated. But y'all still talking about Shedeur because y'all talking about this quarterback situation and y'all want anybody but Shedeur Sanders as QB1. But the gig is up now. Y'all saying stuff just to get the ratings, to get people watching the show, to make UCSS popular. And I think that's why G. Bush goes on there and cooks you guys, because y'all know what y'all saying. Y'all don't even believe what y'all saying. I see everybody in the comments section, #salute. And if you're not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, turn your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball Dropping drops another hot banger. Oh yeah, just in case I forgot. Tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And this is going to wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. I'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.